Halaster Blackcloak, wizard, architect, madman, visionary. The kind of guy who looks at a perfectly peaceful cave system and thinks, 17 levels of magical chaos, yes please. Meet the mind behind Undermountain, Faerun's most twisted, sprawling, and lethally creative subterranean maze. If you've ever wondered what would happen if pure genius took a swan dive straight into the deep end of madness, Halaster is your answer. And trust me, he dove in head first without checking how deep the pool was. He didn't even bother checking if there was water. His true name is lost to history, scattered like ash on the wind. But Halaster first emerges over 1,000 years ago, a survivor of the catastrophic collapse of Netheril. While others scrambled to escape falling cities and the unraveling of magic itself, Halaster simply shrugged, dusted off his robes, and went looking for new opportunities. Opportunity, after all, looks different when you can bend reality with a flick of your wrist. He marched west, past the ruined skeletons of fallen empires, through lands thick with forgotten magic and ancient curses, to the rugged frontier of the Sword Coast. There, he built Blackcloak Hold, a solitary, brooding tower planted firmly atop the ancient dwarven kingdom of Malairbode. A normal mage might have stopped at tower. Halaster saw it as the opening move in a much grander, much more disturbing game, one that no one else knew they were playing. Originally, Halaster came to the region with a simple enough goal: mine Netheril, that rare and precious metal prized by smiths, sorcerers, and anyone hoping to make a serious profit. But shiny metal quickly lost its charm. Beneath the surface, the Underdark whispered dark promises, raw magic, ancient power, secrets waiting to be unearthed. The deeper he dug, the more enraptured he became, entangling himself in a labyrinth of ambition, obsession, and creeping madness. Realizing he couldn't do it alone, he summoned 7 apprentices, later known as the Seven, to aid him in carving out his dominion beneath the earth. Each of them brilliant, each of them doomed. The 7 were prodigies, stars of the magical world, and Halaster molded them like clay. Yet under Halaster's chaotic influence, their brilliance curdled into obsession, cruelty, and madness. One by one they fell, to the labyrinth's corrupting energies, to the manipulations of their master, and to the dark magic they unleashed with glee. Their names are now little more than grim footnotes in a saga of unchecked ambition and spiraling doom. Halaster's projects rapidly spiraled into the territory of nightmares, time-bending hallways that trapped adventurers in endless loops of their worst moments, planar gateways masquerading as innocent broom closets, beasts so twisted in form and purpose that even the 9 hells would politely ask them to leave. Some levels of Undermountain blossomed into sprawling underground cities. Others rotted into lakes of acid or forests of shrieking, flesh-eating fungi. It was like a fever dream, if the dreamer had unlimited arcane power, no sleep, and a wicked sense of humor. And the experiments kept escalating. Entire sectors where gravity turned sideways. Trap rooms where logic and physics abandoned you at the door. Puzzles so elaborate that some adventurers are still stuck centuries later, arguing with talking doors and sentient chandeliers. Halaster reveled in it all, a living, breathing, mutating testament to his genius and his madness. As the centuries slithered on, Halaster's mind unraveled like an ancient tapestry left to rot. Some whisper that he made contact with the far realm, that nightmarish plane of madness beyond mortal understanding. Others argue that centuries of tampering with the chaotic threads of the weave simply burned through his sanity like fire through parchment. Regardless, the man once known as Halaster Blackcloak melted away, leaving behind something else. A myth, a monster, a force of pure, unpredictable magic, wrapped in the tattered rags of what was once a man. His experiments only grew darker and stranger. Dungeon levels populated entirely with sentient, malicious furniture. Desks that bite, chairs that strangle, rugs that devour. Hallways where time folds over itself like origami, trapping wanderers forever between moments. Entire rooms leading to dimensions of eternal bureaucratic torment, where endless paperwork spells your doom. Some corridors simply led nowhere, forever extending, a cosmic joke without a punchline. Despite the combined efforts of archmages, assassins, adventuring companies, and even a few daring gods, Halaster endured. Death, banishment, disintegration, divine wrath, nothing stuck. He returned again and again, the magical equivalent of a cockroach with a grudge and a flair for the dramatic. Every time the world thought it had seen the last of him, some fool would poke the wrong wall, open the wrong portal, and, surprise, Halaster would be back, madder and more mischievous than ever. Today, Halaster treats Undermountain not just as his lair, but as his stage, his laboratory, his canvas, and his own personal game board. His thoughts reverberate through the endless dark halls, offering helpful advice, dire warnings, and maddening riddles to those foolish enough to listen. Gems like, "The mirrors only lie," "Sometimes," or "Dance when the music plays," or "You might never dance again." Cryptic, chilling, and almost always a trap wrapped in a joke wrapped in a death sentence. The dungeon itself shifts and mutates according to his whims. Maps become outdated within days. Walls collapse and rebuild elsewhere. Entire sections vanish overnight, replaced with twisted reflections of Halaster's latest obsessions. Adventurers who think they've found a safe path often discover, a moment too late, that the ground beneath their feet no longer agrees with their plan. Even Waterdeep, bustling and proud above, occasionally shudders from the distant echoes of his influence, as if the city itself knows it stands on a knife's edge, above a churning sea of madness. Whether you see him as a tragic fallen genius, an uncontrollable force of chaos, or simply the worst dungeon master Faerun has ever known, Halaster Blackcloak remains one of the most fascinating and horrifying figures to ever shape the realms. His story is a monument to ambition unchecked, to curiosity without caution, and to the raw, terrifying power of a mind turned inward upon itself. And if you ever find yourself wandering the tunnels beneath Waterdeep, and you hear a burst of gleeful, disembodied laughter, remember, that's Halaster. He's seen you, he's curious, he's plotting, and he's already decided exactly how the first act of your personal horror story is going to unfold. Tread carefully, adventurer. In the dark, madness watches, and it smiles. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, be sure to smash that like button like a barbarian on a rampage. And if you want to keep uncovering the mysteries of the realms, don't forget to roll for subscription and hit the bell so you never miss a quest. Until next time, may your rolls be high and your loot be legendary.